Well, hello everyone! Now I already know that I might have done earthworks justice in my earthworks video. But there was one problem. I tried to explain what a trench was using an actual trench. Now today, that is what a trench looks like from the Civil War. It doesn't look like much, right? So just by showing you what a trench looks like today won't do it justice. So I came to the only place in the Atlanta area with a surviving reconstructed Civil War era trench. Welcome to Gilga Church Battlefield. Now Gilga Church is not a major battlefield, but they do have a reconstructed trench. And this reconstructed trench outlines every single thing about a trench. It was exactly a replica, except for all the vegetation that has grown over it because it kind of trespassed onto private property or something like that. But although it has not been cared for, the basic wooden structures have been preserved, unlike the stuff that I showed you in other videos. So let's dive into the anatomy of a Civil War trench. What the heck is this? Well, it's not just fancy decoration for the trenches to make it at least slightly good. These poles actually serve a purpose, instead of just making your life not as miserable. Now, these are called skid poles. Skid poles, they hold up the wooden parts. If you can see over here, it looks like the entire trench is made of wood. That is wrong, my friends. The trench is made of something more than just the wood. In front of all the wooden structures, you'll see a large mound of dirt. So all these wooden structures, if they have nothing to support them, then they're just going to collapse onto the ground and killing any unlucky soldiers underneath them. So they would use these skid poles to hold it up. There was only one downside. That downside is that they were very hard to do. If you did a single thing wrong, the entire thing would collapse. And if it was not a strong enough log, then the log would just go, and that's not going to be very convenient for the soldiers who are currently standing there. There's also 2 levels inside the trenches. Now after the staircase, there comes 2 levels. There is level 1 and level 2. That's not actually what they call them, but I'll just call it that for your enjoyment. I'm currently on level 1. Wooden platform, easy to stand on. Enough space to reload without getting headshot. That's what I call important. And of course, this is the place where they actually did all the gambling and drinking alcohol because, you know, they're soldiers. But they don't really do much here when it comes to fighting. So they put level 2 on it. You might be thinking why they would put 2 levels on it. That's because they did not want you to get headshot. So if they kept 1 level, then it will just be like, and you won't be able to shoot over anything. Even an adult wouldn't be able. So they would have to stand up on a firing platform. Now the firing platform was used in many different ways. So the firing platform, it was used as a seat for those who are down there, and of course soldiers would stand on it whenever they needed to blow some Confederate heads up. Sadly, this was a Confederate trench, so I guess they were using this trench to blow up some Yankees' heads. Yay! Now, this is the firing station, and it allowed you to stand up, look over the head, underneath the firing log, and be able to shoot straight through. Because of this, they would have a protection so that they wouldn't get killed. That's important. And they would be able to kill others very easily, as this area allowed them to aim properly and reload properly. For an adult, they would be able to get down there, reload, and get back up and shoot like that. But how exactly do they shoot? Well, they use something called a headlog. So the headlog, what is the headlog? Why do they need to add an extra log for decoration? First of all, it's not for decoration. It's for purposes to kill other people and not get killed yourself. Now the headlog is not where it's supposed to be after many years of untreatment, as the museum is kind of permanently closed, so they weren't able to treat it that well. The head log has now lost its current shape, and it's not what it should have looked like, sadly. But you can still see what it was for. If it was much higher, you could stick your rifle barrel through and fire like that. And during the First World War, you would stand up over the trench, but there was no cover, which means that you dead. So that was a major problem. So they decided to put the head log there. They ended up replacing it because, boom, now they can't aim that well. But they would stick the barrel of their weapon through, aim if they can, and fire. Usually this is very effective with volleys. And also it allows, if there were any enemy soldiers who were trying to attack them, they wouldn't be able to shoot from long distances and get into somebody's eyes, because their eyes are protected by these headlogs. But still, you might be wondering about something else. If this is the first fence, then how can they protect themselves that well? Because if this happens, then they'll just be sitting here, and if they were able to get through, there would be no more fortifications. Well, that's because this isn't defense number 1. This is defense number 2. This is number 1, the front ditch. Now you might be asking yourself, what? Yes, this is the first line of defense. Actually, this is the second line of defense, technically, because the bullet fire from the trenches would basically cut down the approaching soldiers. But let's just call this number 1 for now. If the soldiers are lucky enough to make it down here, guess what? If they try to run away, down backwards, well, then they'll be shot. If they try to go over, well, then they're going to be shot. So that's the safest place, because the rifles can't, stick down unless they have a big axe and chop away the stuff. But by that time, the entire trench would have been overrun. But that is basically what they would do. Now, let's go down to some soldier, and let's ask him what his experience is with all of this. Oh, alright, okay. So he says that I'm gonna tell you something. I am not liking this experience. There's the mini balls whizzing all over the air, and I hate it. I have no idea how I'm gonna get out. God, Jesus, my friend was at Cheetah Mill, and this is exactly what happened. The trenches are very, very complicated, and even the front ditch is a weapon, and I am not enjoying it right now. I'm just gonna die quicker, like this. I salute you. Now, although that soldier died, many others will die trying to cross the thing just like him. And many others will die trying to run away, like some soldier that we just interviewed, and we're going to show the clip where he dies. Oh yeah, hi. So I am a soldier, a Union soldier, not a Confederate, of the 53rd Alabama Regiment. I am part of the only regiment that actually joined the Union, even if Alabama joined the Confederacy. I'm literally fighting my own neighbors right now. Actually, I'm fighting in the nation right next to my neighbors. I have just been taken into the military, and I am freaking scared right now. And if I try to go over the fence, I'm gonna die. So I'm gonna try running over here. Wish me luck. Yeah! I salute you. Now you all know how the trenches were so deadly and the anatomy of a trench. And now you know everything that you need to know about it. Although I do not want to bring up slavery, because then the comment section will be filled with flame wars.